So we ended our last video talking about a photo shoot. So if you would like to take the pictures, if you have the objects laying around your house, you can do that in your own home. Just use the best quality lighting that you have. If you can use flash, use a high quality camera, or if you have a good phone, do that. But if that's not an option for you, you can always use Google. To get a high quality image on Google when you're searching for it, say I want to find an orange slice. If you go to tools, there's a lot of stuff that comes out, but there's a size. And when it says size, it means the size of an actual image. So how many pixels it has, just how large the actual file is. The higher the file, the more high quality the image will be. So if you click on large, these are going to be all of the best quality pictures that you can find on Google. You could also do the high resolution side of things, but that might not be a necessity. So if you do choose this option, you will have a lot of options for you. Um, but I highly recommend that you save this image on some place. So make a PowerPoint for yourself that just you can see, drag and drop this image onto it, or you can save it to your Chromebook or whatever device you're using, just so you can have it as a reference and be able to reference it multiple times, not just, oh my gosh, I've been using this image, where did it go? I can't find it anymore. If you save the highest quality one, it will always be there for you. So that is about reference images. These are the ones that I chose. So I chose to do the stages of an orange. So I have a whole orange, an orange cut in half, and then just a slice of an orange. So we've already gone through these steps before, but I'm going to quickly review them again. So you have a longer piece of paper. You're going to break it up into 3 equal sections. So measure it out using a ruler. Divide whatever number you get. I forget how long of a paper I gave you, but you're going to divide that by 3, and then you're going to measure it out into those 3 equal sections. Then you're going to block out your object. You want each to fill in a decent amount of this space. So you can position the objects. I have my whole orange a little bit lower, my half of an orange a little bit higher, and my slice a little bit lower. So I have them so that they fit this space to the best of their ability. You don't want tiny little objects on a huge page. You want this to fill the space. So next you're going to go in and add your shadows. Find all of those darkest colored pencils that you have and just block it in. You can do this with regular pencil before you do it in colored pencil. I did just go right in. So for the oranges, I use browns and I use purples and I used a little bit of blue to create my shaded areas. If you want a darker shadow, you use a complement of a color, so it's the color that's across from it on the color wheel. So orange is my base color because they are oranges, so I used blue. And I also branched out and used a little bit of purple and a little bit of brown. Use black for the last final details, just like we talked about in the last video. So after you have added your shadows, you're going to go in with the base color and use pressure. So this is what we've been practicing nearly the entire year. I think it's one of the most important concepts in drawing is by using value and using pressure to create your values in your object. So in the shaded areas, use a little bit heavier pressure. Don't go too heavy yet. We still have a lot of stages, but in the lighter areas, use lighter pressure. Then we layer again, we add in some shadows, and at this point you could also touch in the highlights. For my orange, I use some yellows and some whites to bring out that highlights. I started to do this between this stage and the next one. And lastly, I went in with my base color again, using heavier pressure, and this is when our objects are going to start to appear more solid in the space, not as airy. After that, I added my final touches and I used heavy pressure with my base color to burnish the area. Burnishing it means that the paper itself is filled up with the medium that you're using. So I used heavier pressure. It filled up all of those little grits and grainy pieces of the paper with the pencil. So this was my final composition. I have my 3 stages, beginning, middle, and end. And I went through all of the colored pencil steps just like we went through in the last video. So again, if you need to go back and reference the other videos, it's right here, rubric is right here, and here are the project explanations.